Good afternoon, everyone. I think we've got a tall order here. We've got 15 minutes and an extremely interesting topic in terms of future-proofing technology in retail. Jeyandran, it's remarkable that every time we come to one of these sessions, the whole lingo around technology and the concept of retailing keeps changing. A few years back, we used to talk about online versus offline. There used to be technologies which we used to mention in the area of supply chain, planning, merchandising, store operations. But, come 2024, what we're seeing is the entire lingo has changed towards IoT, metaverse, gamification, AI, Gen AI, predictive. There's a lot that's happening, and I believe that the entire paradigm around retail is set out to completely change over the next few years. So Flipkart, Jeyandran, is one of the pioneers in terms of adopting technologies and being ahead in the curve, and with a fully omni-channel model. What do you think are the top 3 tech trends that are here to stay? And what's going to really make an impact in terms of the future of retailing?
Sounds good, Anshuman. So I think picking 3 from a long list is going to be a tough order, but I will try my best. So if you look at consumers' expectation on retailing platforms, marketplace platforms, of course, I'm going to focus my expertise and what we do at Flipkart is mainly focused on online retailing, right? Online marketplace platforms. So the traditional modes of discovering products, either if it's a inspiration-driven category like, let's say, lifestyle categories, used to be primarily through browse. And for specification-heavy categories, it was through search, right? So that was a well-established pattern. But now I think the models of discovery for customers are changing drastically. A lot of the inspiration categories, we see that video plays a big part, video-led discovery, influencer-based commerce, and all of that, and content to commerce. So I believe that these alternate discovery models for top of the funnel will play a big part, and every brand has to pay attention to that. For specification-driven categories, especially, I think those will be the first ones where customers need a lot of handholding, and therefore conversational assistance through Gen AI and other such technologies will definitely help customers cut through clutter, jargon, and find what will satisfy their need states. So clearly those I would say are a couple of them. Metaverse, of course, has been talked about a lot. I think it has gone through its highs and lows as a technology that not just retailing, but many other sectors were betting on. I do think that in the future, metaverse will be a very important way in which customers interact with brands and products. We ourselves at Flipkart have done experiments with metaverse a couple of years back. We did a full pixel-streamed metaverse experience. Last year, we in fact made it lighter weight by doing a WebGL-based experience for metaverse with social elements as well. So there was good uptake from customers, but it's a new mode of discovery, so they have to get used to it. And it's like walking into a physical store, but it's a new modality, right? So that I think it has potential, but it'll take a long time for us to really see that becoming a huge new channel of commerce. So I would say, yeah, these are the social commerce, video-led discoveries, content to commerce, Gen AI and conversational assistants, and metaverse would be some of the ones I would pick.
Speaking about Gen AI, I think these are early days, and the promise that Gen AI shows is immense in terms of bringing so many aspects of the business together. And there are quite a few experiments out there as well in terms of customer experience, better merchandise planning, precision marketing, including areas like document contract management, vendor management, and stuff. How do you see this really work out, especially in the area of customer experience, including chatbots or assisted support and areas such as that?
Yeah. So how many of you here have the Flipkart app on your phones? Just a show of hands. Okay. So as I speak, all of you can open the app and then on the main homepage screen, do a left swipe. and you will actually land on an experience called Flippy. So we haven't given a lot of visibility today to that and given prime real estate because it's still in a learning phase. So we get only about, I would say, 10% of our visitors discover the feature and interact with it. But and the product is evolving and doing better day by day. So it is a full conversational assistance engine where you can ask it any questions about specifications of products. It will look at user-generated reviews and comments. It'll look at the product specifications. It'll try to match it semantically with what you're asking for. You can tell it what your budget is. Then it'll know how to filter the right products and show you the highly curated assortment from which you can choose, all of that stuff. It even understands offers, for example. So it knows what kind of payment offers through banks are there. Can you use loyalty super coins on the platform on a particular set of products, and so on and so forth, right? So it's seeing fantastic traction. I think especially in India, where a lot of the next wave of adoption of e-commerce is going to come. Now that I've told people, I think a lot of them are now interacting with the bot. So maybe I should have told them, maybe do it later after the session. Anyway, just kidding. Please go ahead and use the bot. So yeah, so what I was saying is I think the next 200, 300 million customers that are going to come onto the digital bandwagon and start using e-commerce are going to need something that is beyond traditional models that have always been used around the world for e-commerce. Even the discovery, for example, using for even a high intent product. So today, if you, let's say, go and search for, let's say, you're a woman looking for, let's say, a black cocktail dress for wearing for your next office party, right? If you go search black cocktail dress, you see like, I don't know, 3,000 listings, right? So you know that, okay, you like something, but you feel like, okay, I like that pattern, but maybe I need it with slightly more lace or maybe a longer length of gown or whatever it is, right? Today, it's very hard to specify that just using keywords, right? Like you would have to again try to figure out what kind of keywords I need to use and keep doing trial and error, keep scrolling to discover what you want. Now with GenAI, we have done a product called Immerse. This is another thing you can experience right away on our platform, where especially for lifestyle products, it has broad coverage. If you search for it, on the search browse listing, you will see a small icon on the left bottom corner, which looks like some sort of a flipped book kind of a icon. You click on it, it opens a new way of discovering products, which is powered by GenAI. So you can anchor a particular image or a product that you found in the search listing as kind of an anchor product, and then you're telling the engine that I like that, but maybe I want it with these slightly different modifications or variations. This is similar to how, let's say, storekeeper interaction happens for assisted commerce, right? So that is something that we are doing to help sellers, for example, to do cataloging better. We have a lot of manufacturer sellers, small, medium merchants and traders who don't have a lot of digital sophistication to create a comprehensive catalog entry. So how do you help them actually create a very high quality catalog with, even if you have just a tabletop image of let's say, a dress, right? How do you then do AI model avatar-based wrapping of the dress? You're able to show it in different contextual settings, different backgrounds, different lighting conditions, and so on and so forth. And create a very rich product description that looks like it was completely handwritten by somebody who's an expert in that category. All of that stuff now we are doing using GenAI. So the quality of cataloging is going up. Ability to search for products goes up drastically because the correctness of the entries, the right keywords being used, etc., are being ensured by use of AI. All of that stuff, right? And consumers discovering the products, now they're able to get easy summarizations of user reviews, so many other new modalities that are now at their fingertips to make their experience even more delightful than what it was before.
Great. Very heartening to hear all the initiatives that are taking place. But in many of our client conversations, we hear that all this is fine, but how do we handle aspects like data security, privacy, areas like fraud, and how do we really protect both the brand, the customer experience, and the customer interests as well? Are these like foremost in terms of your thought process, and how are you handling, and what learnings are there for others who are perhaps down that journey?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're a brand, there's the largest e-commerce platform in the country. We have a ever-bought customer base, which is 500 million plus customers. So clearly, with that level of volume of data that is in custody with us, customer trust is paramount. So one of the elements that I would say that we have imbibed as a business is there is a term in information security called security by design. Right? So it's not like you build products for features and functionality and then you slap on security as an afterthought on top of it. So that strategy is always bound to fail. The failure may happen today or tomorrow, or it may be a long time coming, but it will fail. That is something that we know, right? So how do you architect for data privacy and security from the word get-go? Right from when you're acquiring customer information and where are you storing it, how are you retrieving it and using it, and in every step of the process, are there the right key management, key distribution protocols, on-wire protection, in-storage protection, and if you're archiving the data, for example, many businesses forget the fact that when you archive data, it somehow goes out of their top of mind, right? It's sitting in some cold storage, in some cloud buckets, and then people somehow forget about it, right? So, so there are a lot of gotchas that businesses have run into, and there are entire playbooks now that have been built around this element of security by design, especially when it comes to data security, privacy, and other principles. So anybody aspiring to use data in deep ways definitely needs to pay a lot of attention to it. So just to tell you the level of data that we collect and use, every single user session on the platform, we collect a few hundred data points for every single session from a customer, right? It's not just like what you clicked. That's the most basic thing, right? Including what you did not click, because what you did not click also gives you equally important information, right? So for every scroll that you make, we collect information. Was it a fast scroll, slow scroll, like, and let's say if you go to a product detail page and come back, how long did you dwell on the page? Dwell time metric. That gives us signals. The algorithm takes that as signals to understand and personalize content for you, right? So our personalization algorithms, which do deep personalization for everything that you see on the page. We say that we don't have one Flipkart platform. We have basically 2 billion plus Flipkarts, because so we have that many user sessions happening on our platform. Every month, for example, we have a few billion user sessions happening, right? Every user session is different. Even if you as a user come back tomorrow, because today you have interacted with the platform and we gain some insights about you, the platform will show you different things tomorrow. New assortment comes, so you are different, the platform is different. As they say in a Chinese proverb, right? No man stepped into a river twice, because the river is not the same, neither is the man, right? Or woman, right? So it is like that, right? So these days our platforms are so intelligent about using every single signal that you can pick up about your customer and make their experience so personalized. That level of data collection also comes with significant responsibility that you pick up as a platform to make sure that you safeguard the customer's data equally.
Great points, and yet we don't find what we want is something that I'm thinking in my mind as a customer.
It is hard. It is hard for sure.
Correct,
yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
And we've got very little time left, and these are great points you make. What is your advice for some of the upcoming companies in retail, especially the ones that have grown out of offline? And the reason I ask that is that I see very clearly that technology is pretty much turning out to be the differentiator, and in a way, it's like tech-led capitalism. Big becoming bigger and more and smarter, right? And how does the small enterprise, the small retail, really catch up with all of this? What are some of the do's and don'ts for them from your side?
Yeah. So I think So the level at which, for example, digitally native platforms today are able to understand their customers in depth, are able to profile their customers, understand their need states very well. We have detailed information about like brand preferences of users, price point preferences, based on just their purchase history, for example. We can say how big is their household, right? What is possibly their household income level? How many children do they have? And what ages are they and what gender are those, for example, right? You may wonder like, how is this possible? Like, I mean, just go and look at everything that you bought on an online platform until now, right? You will know that there is enough information there for these platforms if they're intelligent enough to figure it out, right? So, for example, when I joined a few years back, I was just doing one of my first product reviews with the team that does user data profiling and personalization, right? So they of course didn't know anything about me as a person at that point. This is like the very first time I joined the company, right? So they told me, yeah, I see that your phone number, you're already a Flipkart customer. From our profiling store, we know that you have a boy and a girl, and these are their ages. I was like, wow, like I didn't, I didn't know that I was so transparent. And of course, I mean, using that account, me or my wife have bought dresses for my kids, and using collaborative filtering data and other intelligence, using size charts, using everything, you could predict these things, right? And based on the brand preferences you have shown, you can predict kind of the affluence bracket of the customer and all of that stuff. So I think offline businesses, I think if they start deeply also thinking about how do I understand the customer that deeply, I think a lot of miracles can happen, a lot of magic can happen. I think in a store, for example, I've gone to innovation spaces. I can give you a couple of examples, right? I've gone to some of the innovation spaces in Walmart, for example, in the US, where they do some pioneering innovations in physical store retail formats. Simple things like they have e-inks. I'll maybe take 30 seconds and wrap it up. So they have e-ink, for example, that shows that the prices, so that they can digitally update the prices very quickly. And they have analytics using video to create dead space analysis and then optimize their planograms based on that, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of stuff that offline businesses can learn about deeply understanding customers, optimizing their shelf space, storage space, stocking, and so many things. I think the possibilities are endless.
I think one last question in a minute, perhaps. In terms of tangible value and impact on the P&L and the cost of doing business, how do you really measure it? And all of this that's happened in terms of supply chain, merchandising, are you seeing great benefits? And you're clearly seeing all of these investments turn into growth is understandable, but also operating metrics improving?
Yeah. I think especially with new technologies, there is a lot of excitement about them. But the way we approach it is it solving a true customer problem statement? And if it is, how do we make it work with the right level of economics also coming out of it? So we use metrics like RPC, revenue per cost. When we are investing any new program, new R&D investment, we very quickly figure out what kind of possibilities exist. Of course, for some of the very nascent emerging technologies, we give a long lead time before we expect very high RPCs or profitability coming out of that investment, if these are strategic. But more often than not, what we have seen is that these pivotal technologies that are very disruptive create significant new opportunities that are being unlocked, that you are able to actually get very high leverage out of them. And you're able to significantly improve not just customer experience, seller experience, and whatnot, but also actually very, very friendly to the bottom line as well.
Great, Jeyandran, thank you so much. I think it's been amazing. I think the line pretty much, the exact summary here is that the amount of customer data insights that's coming is like never before. Personalization, customization, deep precision in what we're doing. I think that's what's really retail is getting enabled with, which obviously has its impact in terms of growth. And especially when you look at the millennial consumer today coming, into the larger shopper fold. I think these are all very relevant trends. So thank you very much, Jeyandran. I think it was excellent insights, and I really learned quite a bit, and I'm sure our audience did. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you.